The Department of Public Health and Human Services is pleased to bring you Aging Horizons. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, fraud, legal issues, veterans benefits, and caregiving. Aging Horizons is a program dedicated to inform and prepare Montanans on these timely issues, making a difference to you and your loved ones. Here now is today's program host.
Hi folks, welcome to Aging Horizons. On today's show, we'll be talking about Medicare scams and the programs that we have to help prevent it. Did you know that you are on the front line to help us discover what they are? Medicare processes about 4.5 million Medicare claims per day. So there's bound to be some mistakes, and some of them are intentional, and we need your help to find them, so stay tuned.
Receiving help for Ella has been life-changing, and the best word for it is relief. I was the therapist, I was the aide, and I couldn't be the mom because emotionally you're just to your wits' end, you're trying to survive.
I provide care for the Harrises, specifically their daughter Ella. Respite care is extremely challenging, but the rewards that you receive from it are 100 times more than working with a child that doesn't have special needs. Once they get something, it's everything. It's you celebrate. You don't just enjoy those moments. You celebrate every moment that you get, that you guided them to that next step.
Respite. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. Will you provide it? Call 800-224-6034 or visit respite.mt.gov.
It went from survival to enjoying life and being able to be a mom again.
Brought to you by the Montana Broadcasters and this station.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
Elder abuse is a growing problem, and it's happening right here in our Montana communities. At least 1 in 10 older adults are victims of physical or emotional abuse, financial exploitation, or neglect. To get help or report elder abuse, call your local area agency on aging or Adult Protective Services at 1-844-277-9300.
Hi folks, and welcome to Aging Horizons, brought to you by the Department of Public Health and Human Services, Senior and Long-Term Care Division, Aging Services, and I'm your host, Brian Lamore. I opened up the show talking about Medicare fraud and abuse, and it's a big problem nationally, and recently we heard it touched us here in Montana with some providers. Well, we have a system out there to help us discover what might be happening that shouldn't be happening. There's always someone who's trying to game the system. So today from Missoula, we have Teresa Ragsdale. Teresa, welcome to the show. It's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me. Medicare is a lifeline for thousands of Montanans, but unfortunately, it's also a massive target for scammers, and I'm here to talk about how we can protect our community.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, we have two systems, I guess. We have individuals who receive Medicare might be saying this doesn't seem right, and we have the Medicare program in general might be looking into those things. But let's start at the top. What is the scale of abuse, fraud, and misuse of Medicare?
Well, nationally, Medicare fraud, waste, and abuse still roughly $60 billion each year. To put that in perspective for us locally, that is about 17 times Montana's entire annual budget.
Mm-hmm. Boy, that's amazing. But now let's talk about our viewers, and they're receiving Medicare, and they might see or might think something might be wrong. Where do they start thinking about that?
Well, at Senior Medicare Patrol, we help folks protect themselves from healthcare fraud. As we know, every year scams drain $60 billion from Medicare. Because Medicare processes millions of claims a day, they can't spot every fake bill, but the person receiving care can. Our mission across Montana is simple. We teach people how to protect their personal information, detect errors or scams on their statements, and report them so law enforcement can take action.
Now we have a website that's up on the screen and a telephone number, and that phone number will ring into your local area agency on aging. Now, you're not the only what we call SMP person in the state. You're all over the state. You have other representatives, right?
We do. We have representatives scattered across the state, and when you call the toll-free number, it'll go directly to their local Medicare counselor.
And many times when someone calls in, they might be unsure. They don't really know if this is fraud. They don't know if it's a mistake. Well, some are mistakes, aren't they?
There can be errors for medical billing, and we can help with those as well. We can help them work through that process of calling the doctor's office first and seeing if it can get sorted out at that first spot first.
Yes, first call in. Yeah. So we have quite a network out there that is there to help these seniors. Do they usually call in saying this might be wrong and then it turns out to be fraud, or do the persons receiving Medicare say this is probably fraud?
A combination of it all for calls.
Yeah.
And it can be difficult to spot if it's fraud versus an error, and that's where SMP can step in and help and work through that process to determine if it's suspected fraud or if it's a simple billing error, because humans do make mistakes.
That's right. And now, but you're also involved with Medicare. It's like you just don't do fraud and abuse. Many times people will call in probably for help, and you're there to help individuals at a broad spectrum of Medicare. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Oh, the broad spectrum of Medicare, yes. So we can help people understand their Medicare and and then for SMP, we can help them understand their Medicare summary notices and explanation of benefits. And that is the first line of defense for fraud, is taking a quick scan of your summary notice, checking to see is that doctor familiar? Is that date familiar that's on there? Is that service sound familiar? And then if it doesn't sound familiar, immediately call the doctor's office and check. If it's not familiar, give SMP a call, and we will help work through that process of figuring out, okay, is this a scam? And if it's a scam, we'll send it on up to the Office of Inspector General for investigation.
Okay, now you rely on 3 core steps: protect, detect, and report. Tell us more about those 3 steps.
Yes. So protect is we help educate how to read summary notices, the explanation of benefit. And then for detecting, scanning those summary notices, because that's how you detect the scams. And then call SMP to report any discrepancies that are on that summary notice.
And I imagine many times once they call you, it might be just a simple mistake, right? Is that the majority of results of your calls?
Oh, for my calls, typically not. Majority of them are suspected fraud.
Okay, and then what do you do once you get that report?
Well, right now we're seeing a massive spike in fraudulent billing for durable medical equipment, specifically urinary catheters. And so so when we see that, I gather information from the beneficiary, gather the summary notice or the explanation of benefits, and then I submit that into the Office of Inspector General for them to investigate it. And then it might take them a little bit of time for it to get cleared up. and for them to go after the fraudsters.
Okay. Well, now, Teresa, we draw to a close on our first segment so quickly. And for our viewers, we'll be back after this brief commercial message. Stay tuned.
Hey, caregivers, did you know that respite time is your time? How will you spend it?
We love to get outdoors, so if we have any free time, that's pretty much where you can find us.
Bailey Tolson, East Helena.
We love to hike. Any chance we get, we're out there. And of course, there's always date night.
Montana Lifespan Respite. Respite for caregivers. It's okay to need it. It's okay to want it. It's okay to get it. To learn if you're eligible, call 1-800-224-6034.
We love date night.
Medicare loses $60 million in Montana each year, $70 billion nationally. Medicare processes 4.5 million claims a day. They don't know who your doctor is, but you do. Mistakes can happen. Read your Medicare statements and call Montana Senior Medicare Patrol if you see anything unexpected. 1-800-551-3191. This project is supported by a grant by the Administration for Community Living.
I think the most pleasant surprise when we turned 65 and signed up for Medicare Part B was finding out about our Welcome to Medicare preventive visit.
It was free, and it gave us the opportunity to visit with our doctors and establish a plan for our health going forward.
They reviewed our medical history, measured our height, weight, blood pressure, and counseled us on other risk factors.
To learn more about Medicare's free or low-cost preventive and wellness benefits, call your local SHIP counselor at 800-551-3191. I mentioned it's free, right?
Twice.
I was the last guy you'd expect to get diabetes. I was a competitive runner and I always took care of myself. So when I was diagnosed, it kind of threw me. But it's really encouraging to know I'm not alone with it. There are a lot of other people going through the same things as I am. It takes some effort. You have to keep after it. Exercise, meds, and diet are the key. But there are a lot of folks who want me to succeed. Diabetes is not the end of the world. With effort and attitude, you can have a normal life.
Hi folks, welcome back to Aging Horizons. I'm your host, Brian Lamore, and we're continuing our discussion about Medicare, fraud and abuse. It's pretty big out there. They receive over 4.6 million claims a day for Medicaid payment. There's some mistakes there, and then some are intentional mistakes, but you're the first in the front line to catch these and help turn them into our SMP for people. And we're talking with Teresa Ragsdale. And you know, one big thing is when people call me, it's like, give me your Medicare number, and that's identity theft, isn't it? Tell us more about identity theft.
Yes, and that's the common trap we see today is the identity theft. It happens when imposters call pretending to be official Medicare providers. They'll pressure you to give you your Medicare number under the guise of issuing a new updated card or activating extra benefits. Mm-hmm. It also starts with data breaches. A leak happens and the listed numbers are exposed, and suddenly a scammer has a backdoor into the system, and from there they can start submitting false claims for services they didn't provide. There was no order for it. And the terrifying part of it is the medical identity theft can go on for months without being detected. So scammers aren't just stealing a beneficiary's money, they're stealing their identity to build a government and leaving a fake trail of medical records in their wake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, we've all been getting those calls. I'm from your Medicare provider, and did you have the new card? And the best thing to do is what? Just hang up?
Hang up.
Okay.
Don't do any actions except for hang up.
And don't send any money. Don't give him your Social Security number. Don't give him your Medicare number.
Yes.
Right? Okay, do you have an example of how this has been perpetrated in Montana?
An example is the data breaches that are happening right now. There's been some massive data breaches, and they're scamming Medicare and using people's identity and doctors' identities to bill for millions of dollars of catheters. Mm-hmm. And right now we have about 5 different catheter scams going on in the state of Montana.
Wow, that's amazing. And how do you investigate? I mean, does the SMP actually contact the scammers, or how does it process once you receive the information that it might be a scam?
When I receive the information, I get the beneficiary's permission to submit it up to the Office of Inspector General and or other entities that can also go after the scammer. And then the Office of Inspector General is the one who does the investigation. They have the teeth behind it. They can arrest the folks and get it submitted through the courts to work on trying to get the money back to Medicare.
Mm-hmm. Now, the few scams that I've seen in the newspaper, basically it's a company that's outside the state of Montana, and they're doing this same scam in a number of states. Is it really, is it organized crime that does this? I mean, it has to be well coordinated.
It is very well coordinated. And there's doctors involved, there's multiple folks involved within that company's scheme. Mm-hmm. And more recently, with one of the catheter scams that are going on, Medicare found the information that was figured out it was happening, and same with the OIG, Office of Inspector General. They stopped the Medicare billing, so that provider billed $134 million. Medicare paid $90 million. They arrested the person as they were trying to leave the country. They were flying out from an airport and got charged with money laundering, and $90 million left the United States.
Oh, man. Well, that's very, it's quite an incentive for individuals. $90 million would take care of me for the rest of my life. But now, sometimes they give you a call, and they're very persuasive. I mean, these scams are amazing how they talk people out of their money. Tell us some more how persuasive they are.
They use psychological tactics. These bad actors intentionally create artificial sense of panic, like threatening arrest or overwhelming excitement about a prize, to lower your defenses. And the callers pretend to be from Medicare, the doctor's office, an insurance plan, or a telehealth agency to get your information. They aren't calling out of the blue with a random sales pitch. They call with manufactured urgency to create panic, and they use aggressive tactics to bypass your natural defenses. And the best way to stop some of these maneuvers of them stealing your identity is check your Medicare summary notice and the explanation of benefits. And the bottom line is these tactics are designed to trick anyone. So there's no shame, because these are sophisticated, corporate-run operations.
Mm-hmm. And they're designed to trick you, and they know everything to do. But our SMP or our Medicare people at the 800 number and the website, we've had it on the screen, give them a call. There's no call that is wrong, is too simple. They want to hear from you. They want to help you, because they have to prevent this Medicare scams. Now, folks, we're drawing to a close on our second segment. We have one more to go. So we've spoken about the magnitude of this and why they're doing this. We'll tell you more about it in the next segment, so stay tuned.
Can you say ombudsman?
Ombudsman. Benson?
Uma Doodlesman? Fortunately, you don't have to say it right to get the help of a long-term care ombudsman. If you or a loved one reside in assisted living or long-term care, an ombudsman can help resolve any issue. And these services are completely free and confidential. Now, why don't you try that again?
Ombudsman.
You've probably seen some big-name celebrities on your TV lately talking about all the Medicare benefits you're missing out on. But the insurance companies who are paying for these ads may be pushing benefits not available in Montana. Fortunately, help is available from a friendly state health insurance assistance program counselor who can help you sort it all out. It's free, and we screen everyone for eligibility regardless of your zip code. It's Montanans helping Montanans. Call today.
Every 65 seconds, someone is affected with Alzheimer's or other dementias. Many become isolated at a time when help is most needed. If you or someone you love is affected, help is available, both for people with memory loss and their caregivers. Memory loss can feel frightening, but you are not alone. Call the free 24/7 Alzheimer's Association helpline, 800-272-3900, for guidance and support.
Benefits can be complicated. Getting help shouldn't be. Montana Veteran Service Officers offer free, confidential assistance to help veterans understand and receive the benefits they've earned, state, federal, and beyond. There's never a charge, only support. Connect with your local VSO today. Call 406-324-3742 or visit veterans.mt.gov. Montana Serving Veterans.
Brought to you by Montana Veteran Affairs Division and this station.
Welcome back to Aging Horizons. We're continuing our discussion about Medicare and the fraud, abuse, and neglect that it comes about through professional scammers. Now, you might have been a victim, and that's okay. They're very, very professional in what they do, but we'd like to know about it because they're trying to get other people probably with the same story. Now, Teresa was with our SMP program in Missoula, and Teresa, there's no shame in reporting this, right? I mean, just call the 800 number and maybe they can help you.
Agreed, because this happens to a lot of smart people, and the bottom line is that these tactics, again, are designed to trick everyone. The scammers run sophisticated corporate-level operations. They can spoof phone numbers to look exactly like real government agency on your caller ID. And if you get a scam, there's absolutely no shame if something slipped by, because it happens to smart people. And if you spot something suspicious or suspect it was suspicious, you can contact Montana SMP. We log it, we package the case file and pass it on straight to the Office of Inspector General for law enforcement handling. And you don't have to navigate it alone. We're here. Montana has a dedicated statewide network with local counselors stationed right inside your county level aging office, and you instantly get routed to your local counselor. It's free, confidential help.
Mm-hmm. Now, Teresa, our viewers might be saying, but they'll know I turned them in, and that could be a problem for me, but it can be done anonymously because you're probably one of thousands, right?
That is a great question that I'd have to research and get back to you on.
Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure that you can do it anonymously because once they start, there's lots of people involved with that, and they wouldn't know it was you. But so let's talk about the path of investigation. Someone gives a call, maybe this might be abuse, maybe this is wrong. What are some of your first steps?
Hang up. Hang up on them. Medicare will never call you unsolicited to ask for your number or threaten your benefits or give you extra benefits. Mm-hmm. If you need to verify it was a call, that the call is real, you need to call Medicare directly and hear it from them. That's 1-800-MEDICARE. And you can also call your local office near you for your Medicare counselor. And you can dial that toll-free number that gets to Montana SMP, and we will help.
Okay. I know I get emails occasionally and it says from Medicare, click here, and I'm always suspicious. Instead, I go to the Medicare website, go to my account. I don't let somebody else send me there. Plus, you can always give a call, particularly to our SMP people like you, who you're trained in fraud and abuse, and you might hear something, or you can take action. If someone did give you a call, would you like them to have one of their Medicare billings in front of them to help out right away?
They can just call, and we can have a conversation, because this happens every single day to people from all walks of life, because these are highly trained manipulative criminals using technology to mimic trusted organizations, and it's best to verify before you trust the person that's calling you.
Mm-hmm. I know they can even imitate relatives' voices and scam you. It's amazing the technology they have now, but basically they're calling you or they're sending you an email, right? And you can question if it's coming from out of the blue.
Always question it. Verify who it's coming from. And then that's why we always say there's no shame in falling victim, but there's immense power in reporting it to SMP, because we will handle the case and send it over to the Office of Inspector General for investigating. So they're doing the work for all of us, so we don't have to do that intense energy draining work that happens. We have people on our side to help.
And they have the legal background to take the first steps.
They
Right.
do.
Well, I remember there was a scam out of Florida, and they nicked someone up in Kalispell, and it was for, you talk millions of dollars right off the bat, and it was one participant of many. And I think that started because someone said, this doesn't look right on my billing.
Yes. So if anything looks suspicious at all, give our office a call, and we will report it. What the Office of Inspector General does on their end, besides investigating it, they're looking at trends. So they're looking at who's the company that has done this particular fraud and how many times have they done that across the U.S. And they can start tracking what this organization is doing and make a case to go after that organization.
Mm-hmm. And many times it starts with the individual saying, this doesn't look right. And you're the first step to give a call to say, is this right or wrong, right? What can you say to encourage somebody to call the number?
That by protecting you and the Medicare system, just give us a call. There is no shame at all. We encourage everyone to give us a call about it. More recently, I had someone who just let me know about a scam text that came in, and they thought it was suspicious, but they wanted to let us know. Mm-hmm. And Montana was the first one to let the Office of Inspector General know that this scam was going about.
Boy,
so
that's wonderful. Now, Teresa, we've drawn to a close on our third segment. I'd like to thank you for all your great information and work that you're doing for Montanans. And for our viewers, tune in again soon.
Special thanks to the Department of Public Health and Human Services for their continued support. Hosts on Aging Horizons are program specialists at the Montana Office on Aging. Production facilities provided by Video Express Productions. For more information about Aging Horizons, call the Department of Public Health and Human Services toll-free at 800-332-2272.